Like we promised in the previous video, we're going to talk about maize storage, and we are here with the CEO of Osborg Agric Enterprise, Mr. Boachi Yadom. He has taken us through the maize farming process right from the beginning till now. Mr. Boachi, you're welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, so when we talk about maize storage, why is it important to store maize?
Yeah, maize storage is very important. But before a farmer or a producer would think of storing maize or grains, we have some mindset, or we have the reason why somebody wants to store maize.
Okay.
And the first reason can be expectation of increase in future price.
Okay.
Maybe the buyer or the producer is expecting that the price of maize is going to be higher in the near future.
Okay.
It can be 3 months, it can be 4 months. So if that is the mindset, meaning that when the farmer harvests the maize, the farmer will not sell. They have to store it to the 3 months or 4 months that is expecting that the price will go high. Okay. So that is one reason.
All right.
And also we have what is called buy low and sell high. It's also one of the reasons why we store maize or grains.
Okay.
When you say buy low and sell high, now we are in the first season, they have started the harvesting. And the demand for maize will be lower because they have a lot of maize farmers harvesting their maize. Okay. So the prices of maize, as I'm speaking now, will be lower than.
Currently, what's the price?
Currently, it's around 500 cedis
per bag.
Per bag, per 100 kilobags.
Okay.
Yes, and in some places, when you go to the farmers direct, you can even get it less than 500 because maybe the farmer wants to sell the maize so that he can use that money to prepare for the second season.
Okay.
So if that should be the case, that is where the buy low and sell high comes in.
Okay.
So producers or a farmer or marketers can buy this maize because they think that the price is very low, so that they can preserve it, they can store it, they can dry it. So maybe by 3 months to come, the same maize which is now at maybe 450 or 500 cedis can be sold around maybe 700 cedis. Okay. That is buy low and sell high. Okay. That is also another reason why people will store maize. Okay. And one reason which is very important is for what is called surplus production. Yes, when you talk of surplus production, maybe I have 50 acres of maize. Maybe I'm anticipating for maybe 10 acres per bag. Okay. But because of my cultural practices and the type of seed, every bag, every acre has given me maybe 20 bags. Okay. So I'm having 20 bags times 50 bags. You see, a lot of maize. So now I have a surplus production. Then let me sell 50% of my produce to cater for my cost today, so that I can store the rest for future price increase. That is also another reason why we store maize. And the last reason, which is very important, is food security. Okay. Yes, we store grains or maize because of food security. And this happened in Genesis chapter 41. A story of Pharaoh and Joseph. So these are few reasons why people store maize or grains.
Where do people store maize, or where can I store my maize if I finish harvesting?
Before you decide to store your maize, there are a lot of factors that you have to consider. Okay. Yes. One, you think of place, that is a warehouse. Yeah. Or where you are going to store the maize. Okay. One. Then two, after you get your warehouse, then you think about the methods that you are going to use, or the process that you are going to use to store the maize. Okay. So you ask about where you are going to store the maize. Sure. It's part of preparation when you want to go into commercial farming. Before you enter into commercial farming, you have to put all these things into consideration. Okay. Like when I harvest the maize and I don't want to sell, where am I going to keep the maize? That is warehousing. Okay. And normally you have a rented warehouse, and a lot of commercial farmers too, they build sheds or structures that they intend to store the maize. Yeah.
So in a community where we don't have a warehouse, where it's a farming community, is it possible?
In the farming communities, like my place, when I went to Atibu at first, I was not having any warehouse, but I had a place to rent. Okay. In the short term, where I can keep the maize. Oh. That is one. And also, if your land is about 50 acres, 100 acres, you can raise a temporary structure in the farm where you can store the maize.
That will also come with a cost.
It comes with a cost. But you see, storage always come with a cost. If it's a warehouse, you have to think about warehouse costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. So now you talk about the methods involved in preservation or storing maize. What are the methods?
When you talk of methods of storage, we have a traditional method, and then we have the modern method.
Okay.
Traditionally, you see, our forefathers do store maize and grains. They put it either in the kitchen, then a lot of fire there, smoke. That system, I think you remember.
Yeah.
That is one. That's the traditional one. But for that one, it's maybe there's a few maize that you want to eat, or maybe you want to preserve it for domestic purpose.
Yeah.
That's why you can use that traditional method. And also, when you go to three northern regions, they build some structure, the round one that they put the maize inside. Then they use either wooden or metal for the down, or they can lay bricks down, so that when they apply the maize, they build some small structure on it.
Okay.
That one too is a traditional method. The best one for the maybe large volume of maize storage is silos. And you know, in Ghana, we don't have silos in our farming communities.
Okay.
For that one, you can store a lot of maize, 200,000 bags you can store. But because we don't have that storage facilities, and that silo is very expensive to build.
Okay.
Because you need a lot of electricity, a lot of metal waste. In fact, it's very expensive to build. So once we don't have a lot of silos, we depend on the warehousing system. And also the method that we are using now is tradition plus modern, because maybe you have your warehouse, or you have your place that you have to store the maize, but you have to use a chemical implication to preserve it, so that the maize will not spoil. That is the simplest method that we are using now.
Okay, so those warehouses, do they belong to the individuals or they belong to the government?
In fact, most of the warehouses are for the individuals. The government one is not many. I think the government has decided to build one warehouse, one district, but I think they have not finished, and there are some districts that you cannot get access to that warehouse.
All right.
So you have to go for your own warehouse. Yes, either you rent or you build a temporary structure, or maybe you have a room that you are not using. That one too can be in a form of warehouse for you.
All right. So how much does it cost to rent a warehouse?
Warehouse is like normal house or room renting. It depends on agreements. My situation, I'm renting 150 cedis per month. Because of location, because there's some places it will be more than that. And it also depends on the square meter. How large the warehouse is determine the amount of money or the price that you are going to use.
So you are the only person that stores your maize there. You always.
So I'm the only person that has stored my maize there.
Okay, but what of the other commercial ones?
The commercial one, they charge in bags. When they are silos or there's a commercial warehousing, they charge in bags.
Okay, do you have
maybe one bag is 30 cedis
per month?
No, maybe it depends on the agreement. Maybe for the period. If you want to store it for maybe 3 months, 3 months, and one bag is 30 cedis per the period. So if you have 1,000 bags, then you multiply by the number of bags. Then you pay. All right.
So please take us through the process of storing maize.
The simplest method of storing maize is what I said later. For that one, before you preserve a maize or any grains, the first thing is you must dry it to reduce the moisture content. When the moisture content is high, you cannot store the maize. When you look at this video, you see after you get the maize, the grains, before you store, you have to dry it.
So is it on the bare floor or is on something?
No, you put a tarpaulin on the floor. So that you dry it. This is this year maize, and as I said in one of our videos, the first season means the storage and harvest is very difficult because of rains. You see nowadays it is raining, so if you harvest the maize, you have to see that the grains is dry before you bag or you store. So this is the first method. You have to dry it to see that it's well dry.
So
before.
If you want to store maize, I think one of the things that you need to consider is to dry it, and drying it, you need to get a tarpaulin.
Yes, it's very important. Yes, like this one.
Yes.
Have you seen the tarpaulin? So then you spread the maize to the cost. Yeah, have you seen? So you dry it this way. As soon as it dries, then you come to the next method. We have a chemical that we use to store maize.
Okay.
And we have two chemicals.
Okay.
One is athletic 2.5 EC. Yes, for that one, it's a liquid form. When you spread the maize like this,
okay,
you use that athletic, they spray on the maize.
All right.
Yes, that is the first one, the athletic one.
What does it do? Is it to kill to make sure it doesn't get weevils in it?
Yes, that one, it protects the maize so that the weevils cannot attack it.
Okay.
That is what it does. So then
maize and the rest.
The maize, that one is different method. This one, you want to store it, you want to put it in a bag so that you can preserve it for a long time.
Okay.
So that is where the chemicals comes in. That is the first one is the athletic.
Okay.
And athletic, you can spray it with the maize and the cups. And let me also come in with this one. For the maize storage, you can store the maize plus the cups or the greens. It's a two method.
Okay.
Either you store the maize plus the cups or the greens.
Okay.
What I'm talking now is the greens. Yeah, if you want to store the greens. So when you dry it, then as you see, there is another chemical, second one, which is called phosphorus.
Okay, so after you finish with the first one, the name, what's the name?
Athletic.
Athletic. Then you go to the second one.
No, you choose one.
You choose one.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to
use the two at the same time.
No. If you want to store the maize for maybe 1 month or 2 months period, then you can use the athletic alone.
Okay.
And you will not use the phosphorus. But if you want to keep it more than 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, that is where the phosphorus comes in.
Okay.
This is the chemical, and it's very dangerous. It's a very toxic chemical, a tablet.
What?
And yes, phosphorus. The active ingredient phosphorus.
Okay.
So depending on the company.
Okay.
And this chemical is very good for maize storage, but it's also very dangerous. Have you seen that they've written here poisonous?
Okay.
It's poisonous. So before you use this chemical, you have to seek advice from those who know how to use it before.
You use it.
So before we command this one, if I'm very close to you, I'll show you how to do it. This one is very, very good, but it's very poisonous.
Okay.
If you don't use this one, well, it can cause food poison. That is why this cowpea and other times you get some food poison in secondary school and so on. At times about 30 or 40% is caused by the storage, because cowpea there are a lot of weevils in the cowpea. So if you don't store it well, this one too can cause food poison. So it's very good, but it's poisonous before you use it. That is why I'm just stressing on that. Before you use it, you have to seek advice. Yeah. So how to use this phosphorus is it in a liquid form or it's a tablet form. This is how the phosphorus is being used. When the maize is dry, have you seen the process? The maize is dry.
Yeah.
So we have a bag. You can use a cotton bag or this poly sack for the maize storage. You fill half of the maize, or quarter of the maize, then you put 1 phosphorus inside. When you top it,
that's 100
kg sack. When you top it, then you put other one. And before you put the phosphorus inside, you need to wrap it with a tissue. And it depends on the number of months you want to keep it. That will determine the number of rolls that you use. Have you seen?
Number of
tissue that you use. This is how it is. It's a tablet. Have you seen the small things?
Yes.
And it's very, very dangerous. So you have to cover it with tissue. Have you seen? Yes, you cover it with tissue. Yes, before you put it into the sack. So you finish all this process.
So please, if before you use it, please, if you don't know how to use it, get an expert to advise you, or you can message Mr. Boachi. I'll be leaving his contact on the screen in the description section so that he can direct you on how to use it properly.
So when you finish, have you seen the length of the maize? Now they put the phosphorus inside, then they top it. So when you finish like that, you seal the sack like this. Now you can keep this one for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Yes.
But how long maximum can you keep this maize?
Maize as a grain can be kept for almost 15 years.
For 15 years?
Yes, if your storage everything is right.
Do you need to be changing the phosphorus, or the one can take care of the?
In Ghana, no one will store the maize for 15 years. But I'm saying that the maize as a seed can be stored for 15 years. But in Ghana, the highest is about 5 months, 6 months. Yes, and for that one, the phosphorus, the two phosphorus can cater for that 6 months.
Okay. So in this is 100, right?
This is the 150 kilo bag.
How many do you need for this bag?
2 bags. Two
Tablets.
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to see that it's dried.
It's dry.
Yes, I have to repeat that one. It's dried. Yes.
If it's not well dry, can't it preserve it?
No, if it's not dry well, you cannot. If you preserve it, it will not keep for about 2-3 months. The color will change.
Oh, okay.
That is why it's very important that you dry it well.
Okay.
So anytime I advise that this first season means it's not advisable to keep it for a long time. Even if the market price for the period is good, as soon as you harvest, you have to sell so that you can work for the second season. Okay. But if you want to keep it not more than 3 months, about 2-3 months, you have to sell.
Okay.
Because the moisture content, you will not get it dry like the one that we are showing now that we are going to harvest around November, December. For that one, it's just a natural dryer. The harmattan will dry it naturally.
Oh, okay.
So you can keep it for 6 months, even when year.
Okay.
But for this season, it's not advisable to store it for a long time.
At least, at most.
Yes, at most 3 months will be good.
Okay. The storage too, does the variety of maize you choose also have effect on it?
That's a very good question. A lot of people are saying that the hybrids cannot be kept for a long time. It's not that true.
Okay.
But basically, the local one can be kept for so many years.
More than the hybrid?
Not say more than the hybrid, but in terms of vigor and this in the local seed is very powerful. But the hybrid too, if you put all the process in place, it can also be kept for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long or what has been the maximum duration for yours?
Yeah, I don't keep my maize for only the price. If I keep it 3 months, the price is good, I'll sell.
Oh, okay.
But the maximum is about 3 to 4 months.
Oh, okay.
And this is the first method. This one maybe that you've put the chemical everything. This one is preventing the weevils and other pests that can destroy the maize.
Okay.
But we have some pests like rats. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Yes. For that pest like rats and lizards, that one is external control. When I say external control, the warehousing must be clean. You need to fumigate, or where you are going to put the maize, if it's a detached room, you see that there's no cracks on the wall, so that the rats cannot penetrate and go and destroy the maize.
Okay.
That is one. And also you check the roofing, that there's no leakage on the roofing.
Okay.
So that when it rains, the rain cannot fall on the maize.
Oh, okay.
So after you store it, that is not the end. There are other factors too that you have to put in place, or that you have to consider before. And also this bag means you cannot just put it on the floor. You have to use what is called pallets.
Okay.
Pallets
Is it a
there.
wooden pallet or?
Wooden pallets. If you got a plastic one, it's good.
Okay.
You have to get a pallet, then you pack the maize on it. You arrange it in a such a way that you can count. And you have to also arrange it in a such a way that you can pass through and check.
Okay.
If there is any damage or if something is wrong, then you can see. So the packaging too is very important when you are storing maize.
All right. With a commercial warehouse,
Yeah.
are they clean? And how will you also know that it's leaking or there's such problems like the problem you're talking about? How can I tell? Because I'm not the owner of the place. Or you have to go and do those inspections before you send your items there.
For the commercial warehouse, as soon as you send your maize there, there's agreement between you and the warehouse manager.
Okay.
Because you are paying for a fee. If there is any damage, he is going to pay.
Oh, okay.
So the security and everything is in the hands of the warehouse manager.
Oh.
So as a warehouse manager, you have to also see to that you have fumigate the warehouse from pests like lizard and rats.
Okay.
And also you have to see that your roofing and everything, leakages and everything is correct.
Okay.
If not, and maybe I bring my maize 1,000 back, you've charged me maybe 50 cedis times thousands, almost 50,000. At the end of the day, if there is anything, any damage or any like rats destroy the maize or the number of bags that has been destroyed, you are going to pay at the current price. So as soon as you go there, it's an agreement, it's a contract.
Okay.
Yes, it's a contract that binds the warehouse manager because of the commitment that you've made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well understood.
Maize storage or grain storage is very good because of factors that we have already mentioned. But before you start a maize farming, it's a part of the first decision that you have to take, that I'm going into commercial purpose. So in case I have a surplus production, I'm going to store it. Where am I going to store my maize? What are the processes that I'm going to use? And what are the methods? You shouldn't sit down to produce about 500 or 1,000 bags of maize, and then during the harvest, you are thinking of where are you going to keep the maize, or where am I going to store the maize. That is not a good practice. So you have to take decisions. You have to be proactive, before even starting the production. If you think that maybe I'm going for commercial purpose, then you know you are going for commercial purpose. So all the factors that you put in place before production, the storage and warehousing must be part of your factors.
Okay.
Because when you produce and the price is not good, you have to keep. Even when the price is good and you are anticipating for maybe higher price, you have to keep.
Okay.
So the storage decision is very important for every commercial farmer.
All right. So as a beginner farmer, and you know the capital is not there, but I have like 1 or 2 acres. What do you suggest I do when it comes to storage? Will you recommend I get my own personal warehouse, or I should go for the commercial one as a starter?
As a starter, when you go for maybe 2 acres, and even your highest yield is 20 bags per acre.
Okay.
You're having maybe 40 bags. This 40 bags, I don't know where you stay, but I don't think a single room can even keep this 40 bags.
Okay.
And if you know that the warehousing will be a challenge for you as a starter, you have to produce and sell for the meantime, so that once you are going forward, then you can produce. You can get your own warehouse. And you see, maize storage is not, apart from all these factors, the cost involved too is very high. When I say the cost involved is very high, if you produce for this season and you have maybe 100 bags and you decide to store all the 100 bags, meaning that if you want to cultivate for another 10 or 50 acres, you have to get different farms or another farms before you can be able to do that cultivation. So if you don't have, it's capital intensive. If you don't have money, you cannot even keep the maize. So all these things, the factors must be also considered.
Okay. The commercial warehouse and the personal warehouse, which one will you recommend?
I recommend for the personal warehouse, because even the commercial warehouse that we are talking is not available.
Oh, okay.
It's not all places that you can get.
Farming communities have some.
You have some, but it's not. You go to some farming community, the warehouse, the commercial one, you will not get even maybe 12 feet square. You will not get. It's not big.
Oh, okay.
That even if 30% of the community produce maize, they cannot even send it there. One person can even produce maize to feed all the warehouse.
Oh, okay.
That is why at times you have to think about where you store your personal ones.
Oh, okay.
Before we conclude, maize production or grains production is a good business, as we always been talking about. So if you know that you don't produce the maize for fresh, and you want to produce for maybe commercial purpose, or you have a company. These are some producers too, that they have the companies that they produce for, like they have a poultry farmers, or they have some farming association that they produce that means for. If that should be the case, then the warehousing issues will not come in. But if that is not your mind, and you want to produce in the commercial purpose and sell it in the future, then before you venture into farming, you have to think about warehousing.
Okay. If I have about 20 bags and I want to store it, approximately how much will I want to store it for, let's say 3 months, approximately how much will I spend?
If you want to store 20 bags, let's make it 10 bags, so we multiply by. If you want to store 10 bags for 3 months, every bag you spend maybe 50 cedis. So the 3 months for 10 bags will be maybe 500 cedis.
Oh, okay.
That's the cost. If you want to buy the tablet, that first tablet is about 250, and it's 100 tablets.
Oh, okay.
You put two in one bag.
150 will give you 100 tablets.
Yes. So and every bag you put
150 Ghana cedis.
Yes. And every bag too, you put 2 tablets.
Oh, okay. What about the other one, the first one, the one you spray?
The one you spray, the 1 liter is almost 100 cedis.
Oh.
And you can use that 1 liter for almost 50 bags.
Oh, okay.
50 bags of maize.
Right.
And that's why you not preserve it for long time. If you for some maybe few months. Yeah.
Approximately
2 to 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like we always say, our farmland is still available. We still have limited quantity available. So if you need a farmland to cultivate coconut, palm, plantain, maize, and so many other things, you can get in touch with me. My contact will be on the screen in the description section. You can get in touch with me. You get some. If you don't come early, don't blame me. Mr. Boachi's contact will be on the screen in the description section. If you need any agri input or you need any assistance when it comes to consultancy, you can get in touch with him. He'll be able to help you out. We'll see you in the next video.